What if you don't need to live in pain and suffering? What if you could give up your karma and have a life of abundance and joy? What if you could start creating magic and miracles that you never thought were possible? Get ready to listen, share, and experience the magic that is you. Now, here's the host of Creating Abundance with Ease radio show, Dr. Helen Gitlevich.
Welcome, I'm Dr. Helen Gitlevich on Creating Abundance with Ease, and today our show is how good are you at the problem-solving game? Are you constantly in the mood of solving problems? Are you tired of it? Or are you still enjoying it? Because some people enjoy it. Is your life going to be boring if you do not have problems? Then this episode is not for you. We'll look at what is creating problems and see if we can let go of them, or at least some of them. I'm a medical doctor by education, by purpose in life, who became Access Consciousness Facilitator, Akashic Record teacher, founder of school, podcast host. I have many hats. And I've been facilitating people around the world in classes, private sessions, giving them the tools to create their lives. And that all started with me having open heart surgery many years ago, where I was searching for myself, for the tools that would change all those problems that I had in my life. Because at that time, I thought it was all those issues. And guess what? Even the word issue, who issued them to you? So basically, let's chat. Are you good at problem solving? Because if you've decided you're good at problem solving, guess what? You will have to solve problems. You'll have to create them to solve them. You have to find people who have problems to solve them. Otherwise, your life does not have a purpose. What if it's the biggest lie? What if it's not true? What if you don't have to solve problems to be a good problem solver? Let's look at that. How many of you as kids were just happy? Just playing, just being, just running around doing nothing productive. And people loved you. At which age did you actually give that up? Some people at 1, some people at 3, some people at 5. What if you don't have to? What if you actually claim that right now and just be? Because let's face it, do you have to solve problems? Do you have to work hard? Do you have to suffer for people to love you? Or do they just love you anyway? Or hate you anyway? Do they judge you anyway if you work hard or if you do nothing? Do they judge you if you're happy or if you're sad? Do they hate you or love you no matter what's going on in your life? Just look at that energy for a second. Because they do. It doesn't matter what you do. You cannot win people by problem solving. You cannot win people by suffering. You might get some sympathy, empathy, help, all of those. It's really, do you desire to be pitied? Do you desire to have sympathy? Well, if you like the role of victim, then probably the answer is yes. And that's okay. There is nothing right or wrong about being a victim. There is nothing right or wrong about problem solving. There is nothing wrong or right about suffering or joy or happiness. What if we didn't judge either spaces or emotions or feelings? What if it wasn't right or wrong? Just a choice. What would you choose if you didn't have any judgments about what's right, what's wrong, what's good, what's bad? Where would you be in life? Who would you be? And how you would be if you didn't have to do things, or didn't have to all those obligations, didn't have to, must to, have to, all those. If you give them up, who would you be without them? What if it's just a choice? Close your eyes and for a second, just imagine your life without problems, life of total ease. Everything comes just like by magic. You're never late, even if you are late, but you come just exactly when things are starting. What if you don't have to solve any problems, especially other people's problems, and you let them be? Oh my God, drop your barriers, please, if you choose to, and expand and see how much you're contracting. Even at the thought, you wouldn't have a problem to solve. You wouldn't have those distractions from who you are and what you are. But for the next 10 seconds, you don't have to do it for the rest of your life. Just for the next 10 seconds, I ask you to imagine life without problems, especially other people's problems. Because how much of those problems are not even relevant to you? How much of those problems are you cannot even solve because they're the one that's creating them, and they are the ones that can solve them. No matter how much you know how to solve it, they wouldn't listen to you. And how much you're suffering about that. What if you let it go? Wow, how much more space you have right now. Just listen to that space, or feel that space, sense that space, and allow you to be that space where you don't have to solve other people's problems, where you don't have to solve world problems. Oh my God, how many of you are trying to solve world problems and trying in your mind to see why those problems even exist? How come people choose that? And all those questions that are not actually questions, but conclusions. How many of you actually know how to ask real questions that will change the situation? Because that's what actually can change things in your life. Not problem solving, not creating problems, not solving problems for other people. That's not going to make your life easier, because if you do solve their problems, guess what? They'll create more. Because it's not about you helping them. It's about them choosing something different. And are they? Are they choosing something different, or do they like where they are? Do they have benefits from that? Is there value in their problems? I remember having a student in one of my classes. It was an intro class. And his wife dragged him into my class, literally dragged him. And he said that, I didn't want to be here. My wife brought me here. Brought me here. He was like in his 60s, maybe even older. But my wife brought me here. Like she carried him. Yeah. So when he had a lot of problems, like illnesses that would not kill him. He had Parkinson, he had arthritis, he had lung problems where he needed oxygen, but none of them would have killed him right away. It would be years of prolonged suffering, pain, difficulty breathing, shaking, mental changes, where people would have to take care of him. And when I asked, what's the value for you to have those problems, those things? He said, oh, he actually looked at that, which surprised me. He's like, oh, my wife is taking care of me. I don't have to work. My kids seeing me more often when I have more issues, and so on and so forth. And there was a long list of laundry, like a laundry list of things that actually was valuable to him, more valuable than giving up his suffering. And his wife was trying to solve his problems for him. But could she? Not in a million years. No matter how much she would try, he would resist and react. How much people that you're trying to solve problems for, with, about, literally resist and react and hate you for that and judge you for that and push you away and try not to be around you, or so on and so forth. And we can talk about many different ways people avoid giving up their problems. And yet you're constantly in the mode of problem solving. What if you actually look at that and give it up? It's about, and I know it's hard. Some of you say, yeah, I would love to, but, and that but actually denies, oh yeah, how many people love their problem and to suffer. Exactly. So with all of that, it's like, what if you let them be? And a lot of times, some of them actually choose to change it. And we'll talk about resistance and reaction and alignment and agreement after our break, where because it's time for our first break in the show, commercial break. When we return, we'll talk more about the topic. You've been listening to Creating Abundance with Ease with myself, Dr. Helen Gitlevich, on the Inspired Choices Network. And we will be right back.
Many of us live our lives based on karma, on the past, and all the unfinished business in our lives. What would you choose if you did not have karma, or if you could choose what you desired instead? By tuning into Creating Abundance with Ease radio show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to create the abundance in your life. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to have ease with creating abundance? Listen for Creating Abundance with Ease radio show every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email become a host at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is the Creating Abundance with Ease show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to helen.g@att.net. Now, back to the program.
Welcome. I'm Dr. Helen Gitlevich on Creating Abundance with Ease on Inspired Choices Network. And today our show topic is how good are you at the problem solving game? And it is a game, actually. And there was a comment in the chat. It's how addicted are we to saving other people? And that's actually true. We are all addicted to that. In a way, helping people feels good. So there is a physiological response to that, endorphins and all of those happy hormones that's produced. So we like that feeling. And yet, a lot of times those people resist and react at our attempts to solve their problems. Look at yourself. If somebody tries to solve your problems for you, what do? You pretty much fuck you and do the opposite of what they're trying to tell you, even if it will work and you know it will work, and yet you're doing the opposite. I know I've done that for years. Now a little bit less. It's a muscle. A lot of times I have to catch myself at those resistance and reaction or alignment and agreement game, because it's so almost automatic response where somebody tells you something and you're like, no. It's that 2-year-old that was always pushed. And a lot of times we're stuck in that age of, they call it terrible twos, but in reality, it's when the child starts to develop sense of self, where it knows what it wants, it knows what's good for it, it knows what's good to eat for his little body. But the parents, and if you're watching me, you see me doing the air quotes, or if you're listening, you're not seeing it, but it's being sarcastic. The parents know what's good for the child because they've read the books, because they've listened to the experts, nutrition, all of that. But in reality, our bodies are amazing and we are amazing. Our beings are amazing. We know what's actually truly our body's desires, our being desires. And even at 2, we know. And yet, people push us to tell us what's good for us. So we suppress our inner sense of self. And there is 2 ways the child coping mechanism is: either align and agree with the parents and being a good girl, good boy, or resist and react. And that's when they call it terrible twos, where the child is like, no, throws a tantrum because the child is trying to bypass all those points of view and create his own self of self. And yet, at some point, even that gets suppressed and there is a rebellion. So a lot of times when a child grows up, becomes an adult, the only thing he can do is resist and react to everything that people tell him, or align and agree with something that he doesn't even believe in, but expert tells them. So with that, saying that, if you remove that, even if the person kind of like automatically, innately already like in that mode, if you stop offering the problem solving, if you stop trying to help them, a lot of times it actually creates a space for the person to choose for themselves and solve their problem for themselves. Yeah, they might make a mistake and it might be painful to watch them make those mistakes. And yet, it's about them. It's not about us. It's about them choosing more, and for us to create space for us to choose more. Because guess what? When we are solving somebody else's problem, we're not solving ours. If we are trying to help somebody else, we are not being present in our lives. We literally distracted by somebody else's misery and suffering, while our lives on autopilot or on a train that's kind of like maybe on a way to a wreck, like when we kind of like destroying our lives or killing our body, and we're not even seeing it because we're so concentrated on somebody else killing their body or destroying their life. So what if we actually choose to be present in our lives? What would that create? And take our attention from them. Okay, let's do a little meditation. If you're not driving, close your eyes, or you don't have to close your eyes. And just let go of your barriers. Just allow them to melt. Allow yourself to expand. And we've done that. If you're not familiar, you can always go to the all the recorded shows, all the archive that is pretty much everywhere on over 750 platforms of audio, video, etc., and 50 TV channels. But allow yourself to expand. And the other option is to go to the website, Creating Abundance with Ease, and download it for free. You'll get on my email list. If you don't want to be, you can always unsubscribe. So saying that, just expand in all directions like a sphere. Just be present with that. And allow yourself to bring attention to your heart. And it's not the physical heart, but the space in the middle of your chest. It's bigger than you think. And just look inside. What's there? Who is there? Who are you keeping there? What you're keeping there? When are you actually there? And by when, I mean, how far in the past do you go and stay there constantly with all those problems that you cannot even solve because they already passed? They've been like 10 years ago, and are you still trying to solve that? That's not solvable. That problem is gone. Or you're trying to solve for somebody else. Just look at all of those. That's in your heart right now. Everywhere where you tell yourself you have a broken heart, look at those things too. And allow your crown to open up right now and bring light into your heart. Through your crown, through your head, and allow it to go through your body. Don't stop at the heart, but allow that light to kind of melt all those problems in the past, in the future, in the present, and wash it away. Just keep pouring the white light, yellow light, whatever you like, whatever you're used to or not used to. If you've never done that, I don't think I've done that meditation before. So just allow the white light to go through your body and stay connected to your heart, which is different. Kind of like stay in that space. Be expanded, maybe 1,000 miles, million miles, doesn't matter. But be present in that heart space. And while you're pouring the light through your heart, allow everything to melt. And everywhere where you're kind of like, you see the dark spot, pour more light in. If you're determined to hold on to those, that's okay. You don't have to let them go. And this is kind of coming to that resistance and reaction. If somebody tells you to do something, you're not doing it. But allow yourself to be there. Allow yourself to create that space and choose. Would you like to let go of the problems? And some of you might want to examine each problem, just like in psychologist's office. Oh, this is with my ex. Do I want to let it go? Oh, let's smell it. Let's taste that piece of shit. I'm not talking about the ex. I'm talking about the problem. That's kind of like the poop that was created by the relationship, or the garbage that's created by the relationship, which is a lie. And yet we have to examine it, smell it. What if we don't have to? What if we can just let it go if you choose? Again, this is about choice. This is about you choosing for you, you being present in your life. And that's how we choose. If we're present, then we don't have to react. Then we don't have to align and agree. Then we don't have to resist. This is about what will work for us, for our bodies, for our being, for future, for the present. Keep pouring the light and just allow it to dissolve whatever you're ready to dissolve. And if you're not, that's okay too. Now expand that in all directions and see how much of that darkness or stinky is left. And good timing. It's time for us to go on our second break of the show. And when we return, we'll discuss more about how to get out of the problem-solving mode and get into more joy and ease. And you've been listening to Creating Abundance with Ease with myself, Dr. Helen Gitlevich on Inspired Choices Network. We'll be right back.
Many of us live our lives based on karma, on the past, and all the unfinished business in our lives. What would you choose if you did not have karma, or if you could choose what you desired instead? By tuning into Creating Abundance with Ease radio show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to create the abundance in your life. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to have ease with creating abundance? Listen for Creating Abundance with Ease radio show every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Magic and abundance are everywhere. What if you could tap into abundance and start creating your life with complete and total ease? Working with Dr. Helen Gitlevich will give you exactly that, total ease in creating abundance in your life. Dr. Gitlevich creates classes all over the world, both in person and online. She works with you to create abundance with your money, with your body, with your relationships, with all areas of your life with total ease. Connect with Dr. Helen Gitlevich at creatingabundancewithease.com. Her contribution in your world will be a noticeable gift in a very short period of time.
How wonderful would it be to carry your favorite Inspired Choices Network host with you throughout your day? Well, now you can. Inspired Choices Network now has its very own mobile app. Our free app offers live streaming shows, along with thousands of podcasts and TV episodes. Our shows cover a wide variety of topics. Whether you're waking up with us, carrying us through the day, and taking us to bed with you, we're always here for you to enjoy. We're easy to find. Just search for Inspired Choices Network in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
This is the Creating Abundance with Ease show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to helen.g@att.net. Now, back to the program.
Welcome forward, everyone. I'm Dr. Helen Gitlevich on Creating Abundance with Ease on Inspired Choices Network. And today our show topic is, how good are you at problem-solving game? And saying that, in the first two parts of the show, if you're just joining us, we talked about how addicted we are to problem-solving and how much people resist and react. And in the second part, we did a meditation to kind of like looking at our heart and what kind of problems and people we hold there, and melt all those problems that we hold from the past or the future. Who knows where they came from? And right now, I would like to talk about letting people be and creating more in our lives. One of the ways of letting go of problem solving for other people is to have our own life, our own things that we enjoy. What if we actually choose for us? What do you like? What do you like to do? What do you like to eat? Who would you like to sleep with? Have you ever looked at those? I know a lot of times, a lot of people do not. A lot of people are on autopilot, go to work, come back to home. And I specifically say come back to home because they're coming exactly to what was yesterday, the day before. They go back. What if you never went back? What if you actually always went forward? If you noticed, I said, welcome forward, everyone. Not welcome back, but welcome forward, everyone. Because each moment is different. Each moment is a creation. We can create it on autopilot, kind of like the same thing, the same shit, the same kind of that been for years. And a lot of it is unconscious or even anti-conscious. A lot of times we sabotage ourselves. Even we know what to do and we do the opposite. We know what's good for us, but then because people insist on doing that, we resist and react and do the opposite. All of those things are unconscious and anti-conscious, or reactions like autoresponders. All of that is not being present in our lives. It's not actually living or being alive. We are kind of like, yeah, okay. That's where the depression comes in. That's where anxieties comes in. That's where a lot of like mental illness comes in, because we're not allowing ourselves the space to be and to be present and to go forward, to choose in the moment. We kind of like live from obligations, from have to, must to, suffering, being a victim. All of those roles, they're just roles. We came here to play, because I do a lot of Akashic Records work or play. And what I found when people come in and ask, what's my purpose in life? That's pretty much the first question people ask. And every single time, you know what the answer is? To have fun, to be happy, to enjoy life, to live to the fullest. And yet, people struggle with that. part of it, our upbringing. When I was growing up, we had almost no choice. I grew up in Soviet Union, which was a communist Russia at that time, and there was no choice. Maximum maybe one or two choices, as far as even, well, ice cream would probably have a little bit more, but still it was vanilla covered in chocolate, or vanilla this. And there was a lot of times in the stores shortages, so you would have one or two types of cheese, maybe 2 or 3 types of bread. So it wasn't like, I never learned to choose. And I remember coming to the States, if you ever seen Moscow on the Hudson, that would be the exactly scene from the movie. My mom sent me to buy honey. And I live in Chicago, and we have Treasure Island store. It's a grocery store. It used to be much bigger. They used to be everywhere, and it was huge. And it kind of like brought food and produce from all over the world. So I went to buy honey, and I always thought, okay, there is always honey, just one type. And I asked, where is the honey? And they sent me to the shelves. And I say shelves because there was multiple shelves, a huge kind of like thing of honey. I don't know how many types of honey there was, from how many countries, from how many states, different flowers, different consistency, with wax, without the wax, raw, processed, unprocessed. I was like standing there, I was like, what? What do I choose? I have no idea. And I think I took 3 or 4 types of honey because I had no idea. All of them tasted amazing. And it was my first experience of choice. I still chose, I think, 2 or 3. And that's where people usually stop. They say, okay, I'll have chocolate, I'll have vanilla, or mixed. But what if there are infinite choices? And what if you can choose and vanilla, and chocolate, and mixed, and strawberry, and cherry? I love that because I just came from Rome. I facilitated a few classes. I facilitated foundation, body class, and the bars class, access consciousness. And you can go to the website to find out more about those classes. Because I facilitated, as I said, around the world, even I lived in Chicago. And there was so many choices of gelato. We went, I co-facilitated with Dmitry Kalinkin, and it was interesting because even one scoop, like the smallest one, you could choose at least 2 flavors. They were not limiting you just to one. If you took bigger, you could take, I think, 3 or 4 flavors. And it was amazing to kind of like look at it. It's like, okay, I'll have this and this, and I'll have this and this and this. What if we did that in our lives? Would we actually look at other people's choices and problems? Because when you are buying ice cream, do you actually look at other people's buying and telling them, oh, you have to buy this because it's good for you? Or you actually tasting it yourself and you're picking for you and you're just happy and joyful? What if your life could be like gelateria, where gelato's like the ice cream parlor, and everything was just an ice cream flavor? Okay, you'll say, yeah, but life does not consist of all the happy moments. But what if you could actually look at what you've decided unhappy is, what even knows? Like unhappy is just a judgment? What if literally everything was just a flavor? Some of it might be wonderful, sweet. Some of it is sour. Some of it might be bitter, but it's just a flavor. Do you judge it? I actually did. I did see bacon flavor ice cream once, and I'm like, really? Bacon? Ew. I didn't want even to try. But did I have emotional response to that? Probably not, because emotions usually last longer. Mine was like, ew, no, not choosing that. What if you could go along your life and be like that? Oh, I'll choose that. Ew, no, not choosing that. That doesn't work for me. Oh, I like that flavor. I'll choose that. I'll taste that. No, next one. And if you're watching, I'm like making faces. But you can always watch it later on. I'm not sure if those are good faces, bad faces, but yeah, bacon flavor ice cream. I have no idea how it tasted. I don't eat bacon. I don't like bacon, let alone bacon flavored ice cream. It was a comment in chat. But I've seen a weird flavored ice cream, not in Italy. That was actually in the States. It was in one of the fancy restaurants where things were like a little weird. The chef was like very famous chef. I don't remember where it was, so I cannot tell you, but the flavor of the day was bacon flavored ice cream. And there was another like a weird flavor. I don't remember what it was. I think it was with cayenne pepper, but that one I actually tried and it wasn't bad. So yeah, look at your life. And what if you actually looked at your life and be with your life and chose your life? Would you solve other people's or would you be present? Which one is more fun for you? If it's fun for you solving other people's problems and suffering in yours, that's fine. That's just preference. You might like the bacon ice cream. You might like the cayenne pepper ice cream. That's okay. Nothing wrong with that. I actually like vanilla. I like pistachio. And time flies. It's time for our third break and the final break of the show. It's actually went so fast and you've been listening. I couldn't believe I thought like, wait, it can't be the third break and the final break of the show. You've been listening to Creating Abundance with Ease with myself, Helen Gitlevich, on Inspired Choices Network. And we will be right back.
Many of us live our lives based on karma, on the past, and all the unfinished business in our lives. What would you choose if you did not have karma, or if you could choose what you desired instead? By tuning into Creating Abundance with Ease radio show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to create the abundance in your life. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to have ease with creating abundance? Listen for Creating Abundance with Ease radio show every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
This is the Creating Abundance with Ease show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to helen.g@att.net. Now, back to the program.
Welcome forward, everyone. I'm Dr. Helen Gitlevich on Creating Abundance with Ease on Inspired Choices Network. And today our show topic is, how good are you at problem solving? Game. And as I said, this is just a game because our whole life is pretty much just a game. A lot of people take it seriously, and that's okay. It's about shifting and changing. And I've been talking about tools of that help us create a little ease. What if it's about actually creating more? What if it's about choosing more and creating life of ease, joy, and glory? And as I said, I've been facilitating classes around the world. And I've seen people change their lives. You can find out more about that on my website on creatingabundancewithease.com. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, email, through the website, through accessconsciousness.com website. It's about what are you going to choose for you. It's about how much are you not allowing yourself to be present in your life? What if it's about more in your life? What if it's about just being present? What if it's about not making other people's problems relevant? Oh, wait. But they are relevant. They are important. They are our loved ones. They're significant others. And that's actually a whole topic in itself, making people and things significant. When we do that, when we make it important, it's just like when it's significant, when it's important, it's almost like historical structure. We cannot change that. We cannot change them. We cannot change ourselves around them. We project certain things and they don't have a choice. They have to behave in that way. What if it's not productive? What if there's another way? And that's my invitation to you to choose maybe learning a little bit more of tools, Access Consciousness, Akashic Records. I have some classes coming up. One of them is 3-day body class, which kind of like creates a communion with the body, creates our like listening to the body and choosing more for us. It's an advanced class. It requires a couple more classes, but we can talk about prerequisites. It's at the end of September, and there might be some other classes coming up. As I said, you can go on the website and look at the schedule. Also, this is not the last show. Next week, I do podcasts in 2 languages, English and Russian. And next week is actually a Russian show, «Кто любит решать проблемы». It's kind of like an offshoot on this topic, who loves solving problem. And we'll talk more about maybe similar, maybe different. Even if you do not understand Russian, you're welcome to listen because this is more about energy. A lot of my shows incorporate symphony energies and other energies and even Akashic Records field that allows people to relax, if nothing else. It's up to you. There are other classes coming up at my house, exchanges, and you can choose more for you. The other antidote to other people's problem solving or Oh, we haven't talked about other people trying to solve our problems. Oh, yes, that one. Because not only do we solve other people's problems, but we also resist and react to other people solving ours. And that takes a lot of energy from our lives. Yeah, we have only like a few minutes left. I guess it's going to be another episode, maybe in a couple of weeks, about not resisting and reacting to other people trying to solve our problems. But that's kind of like a mirror, because if we're trying to solve other people's problems, then they try to solve ours. Does it work? Not really. A lot of times it's just we do things against us, so we do not do what we are told. Just like a 2-year-old, like I said in the earlier part. One of the antidotes to all of that is actually being a space of gratitude. And I talk a lot about gratitude. Gratitude, you can be grateful for everything, including people being assholes, for people hurting you. Well, nobody can hurt you unless you allow it, but that's a topic for another day. When we are grateful, it's the space, and actually I'll put the period. It is space. And when we have space, it's much easier to allow ourselves to be and kind of be present and be aware and to know what to do or be. This is about choosing the gratitude, because a lot of times, I can't be grateful for that. One of the examples I can bring is my open heart surgery at 37, which stopped me in my tracks. And I'm very grateful for that surgery, for the pain. I'm not so much for the pain, but for the whole thing. Maybe not in the moment when it was happening, but looking at that from a different perspective, because all of it is just a perspective. All of it is points of view, judgments, and all our reactions coming from the judgments. So when we don't have judgments, when we don't have reactions, when we don't have the right and wrong, good and bad, that's when we can choose gratitude. What if we can be grateful for even small things? It's only a minute left in the show. So after the show, my invitation is write down a list of what are you grateful for. Maybe 5, 10, 20 things. Can be small, can be large, but just think that you're grateful for and just allow yourself to feel that. And look at that list every day, or write another one every day, because tomorrow might be a different thing you're grateful, or have that list and add to that every day. Challenge yourself adding maybe 3 to 5 things to that list every single day. Thank you so much for being with me live and for listening in the future. Love you all. And again, just see what will that list create. I'm not telling you anything. I'm not putting my points of view on that, but just choose and see what it will create. See you next week. Mwah. Bye.
Thank you for choosing to listen to Creating Abundance with Ease radio show. Dr. Helen Gitlevich will return next Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific. on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. We hope you'll join us. Until then, have fun using the tools of the week in your life and start creating magic in your life and your body.